Scotty McCreary, 93.9 WLVB. It's 8:19. Good morning. I'm Roland Lajoie. September has arrived, and that means Labor Day and back to school. And it is also Suicide Prevention or Suicide Awareness Month. And it gives us a chance to catch up once again with Monique Reil from Lamoille County Mental Health Services. She is a mobile crisis team manager. Nice to have you with us, Monique.
Thanks for having me, Roland.
What does that mean, mobile crisis team manager?
It means that I work as part of a team that is mobile. We're able to provide crisis support in a variety of ways, including in person all over Lamoille County.
This is, as you know, is Suicide Prevention or Suicide Awareness Month. And before we talk about a very interesting story that you read out of Reader's Digest that we wanted to pass along, how has the COVID-19, this whole pandemic where people are isolated and all, should folks be who are trying to keep an eye on our neighbors? Is it most important to do that right now?
I would say definitely. The virus has really increased a lot of anxiety and depression for people. We're all more isolated. We're not able to connect to people in the way that we usually do. And so it's made it really difficult, really important to try to connect with people in different ways and be creative.
Yeah, like maybe just give them a simple phone call, or maybe saying, "Hey, let me come over and visit for a little while," safely. So those are very simple things, but they can make a big difference, can't they?
Absolutely.
Now, you were telling me we're trying to keep this on a positive because there are ways that you, the listener, that can help prevent folks from doing something bad to themselves. And, of course, we don't want that. We certainly want to prevent that from happening. And it leads us to an article that you said you read recently in Reader's Digest in which one person did exactly that, prevented a suicide.
Exactly. It's really important, I think, to get the message out. It's not just mental health professionals that have a role to play in supporting people in preventing suicide. And there was an article in the September 2020 Reader's Digest that talks about a 14-year-old boy who was gaming, so doing video games online, with another teenager from Florida. And he noticed that his friend was not acting his usual way, that he seemed kind of down. So he asked him what was going on. His friend actually told him that he felt hopeless, that he really didn't have any reason to go on, and he was planning to kill himself that night. So this young man, only 14, just stayed in contact with him for about 2 hours. He kept texting him, trying to listen, to try to give him a sense of hope. While he was texting with his friend, he had his parents call 911. They were able to connect with the local authorities in Florida. They found this young man and they saved his life.
Wow.
It's amazing to me, one, that these were teenagers, and they are a high-risk population, especially now, and that we can all make a difference sometimes in very unexpected ways.
Yeah. Are there any, I mean, this is probably hard to answer. I mean, telltale signs on how you might think that you should be a little bit suspicious of some folks and maybe give them some extra attention, or any kind of signs that you can look for or listen for?
I think, some of the signs are, just someone not acting like themselves, someone acting differently, and that was certainly something that this young man picked up on. People who are talking about feeling hopeless, feeling like they don't really have any reason to go on and like nothing is going to change. Those kinds of comments are certainly concerning. People who have had losses in their life or have a family history, close friends maybe that have died from suicide, sudden changes. So it could be something like someone who just lost a job, someone who just broke up, and again, young people especially, just broke up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Those can all be triggers. People using drugs and alcohol more than usual, sometimes using them at all if they don't usually use. Those can all be warning signs. And I think the most important thing is when something seems off, is to not be afraid to ask the question. So it sounds to me like things aren't going well. Are you thinking about killing yourself? And being brave and taking a risk and just putting it out there.
Some people are very reluctant to do that. That's some of the problems that you think, oh, that can't possibly be the case. But it's better to, I think we've talked about this in the past, it's better to ask than not.
Exactly. And then to know what to do.
Yeah.
So if you do ask someone and they're saying maybe, or they say yes, as a matter of fact, I have been thinking about suicide, then what is the next step? And the next step would definitely be to call for help. And you could do it with the person if you feel comfortable doing that. Person should not be left alone, for sure. If you think the person is really about to do something and they're not safe, then calling 911 is the best thing to do. If you feel like you have a little bit more time, it would be calling either your local police or your local mental health agency.
Right, which happens to be around here, Lamoille County Mental Health Services, as a matter of fact. And you can contact the folks there. Do you have folks on duty 24/7, or they're just?
So we are available 24/7 for all of Lamoille County area, and the best way to reach us is through Copley Hospital. There are dispatched 24/7. So you call, the number is all eights.
Yep.
The easy number to remember.
Right.
So it's 888-8888. That connects you to Copley Hospital switchboard. They will get your name and phone number. They page us, and we call you right back.
That's a good service to have. That's for sure. And it's so easy to remember too. So.
Yes.
So it's always be great. It's always nice for folks to keep an extra ear open. And I know it's very distracting with COVID-19. Everybody is affected one way or the other. But if you think you know somebody that's not quite right, it's, as we said, better to act than not act. And again, 24/7, 888-8888 will eventually get you to Lamoille County Mental Health Services. And Monique Reil joining us this morning, a mobile crisis team manager at Lamoille County Mental Health. You can also go to their website, which is, oh God, I can't remember.
Also easy to remember, it's lamoille.org.
Okay, that's why I always forget. lamoille.org. All right, Monique, it's good talking with you again, and we'll talk to you folks later on down the road.
Thank you, Roland.
Take care, Monique. Have a good weekend.
Take care.
You too. Monique Reil this morning from Lamoille County Mental Health Services this morning, 93.9 WLVB.